Hello, this is Molly Wilson, and today you're listening to my show. I have been doing a lot of reflecting, and I decided not to pursue the title, The Solopreneur Shift. I've been really experimenting with myself and my business and trying to find something that worked. But I just realized after a while that the solopreneur shift doesn't actually encapsulate all that I want to talk about and really the work that I'm here to do. So I want to start it by just acknowledging that, but also giving you the permission to shift and change as you need to, especially in your business as you grow and evolve, as things get more clear for you, as you try different things and realize what it is you really want to focus on. For me, I've been in this entrepreneur world for several years. Most recently, in the last 6 months or so, I dove deeper into my business and wanted to experiment to find different things that worked, to see what it was that I actually felt good doing. Now, in the last 6 months, it's been a process of trial and error. I've gone from helping caregivers in their families to supporting women in businesses, startup business, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. And I've actually kind of reverted back to my roots, back to something that is like so true for me. And that is holistic health coaching and energy healing. It is really being a spotlight and a sounding board and a guide for people, especially women who are dealing with some, I would say, physical and emotional issues and blocks. My background in occupational therapy really lends its side to being nurturing and caring and also offering practical solutions. So after several months of exploring these different target audiences, these different offerings, I've found myself coming back to my roots, coming back to something that is really I think right in front of my face, and something I'm naturally good at is being that guide and that healer for people. Or I shouldn't say healer. That's not how I like to describe it necessarily, because I'm not healing you. You are healing you, but more or less that guide, that facilitator, and that source of strength to help you find the clarity you need and problem solve some of the issues and blocks that are coming up and getting in the way of you living your best life. So with that long-winded introduction, now I want to do the product of the podcast. This is where I spotlight a service or a product that I offer so that you know how you can work with me and how I help people. So today I want to talk about my human design informed Reiki sessions. So this is something new that I've recently brought together, and it's using your human design chart to move through a healing process using Reiki. So transmitting energy from we call it universal energy, but it's really getting to the root cause of where your blocks are, where your insecurities are, where your vulnerabilities are. And the use of your human design chart helps me guide the energy and guide you on clearing that. So I offer this as a virtual session. It's 90 minutes. And so part of that session is human design reading. So I'm doing an info session with you, sharing with you about your human design. And then the other part of that is going through this healing process, this Reiki experience, this shift of energy to help you be more aligned, help you get more energy, help you receive the insights and the healing that you need. So again, that is my human design informed Reiki sessions that I'm doing and offering online. So you can find that in the show notes below. All right, back to today's talk. Speaking of human design, I want to share a little bit about how that became such an important part of my life, my growth, my purpose, and my healing, and also how I weave it into business. So human design, if you are not familiar with it, is a self-discovery tool. It's a modality. It's not a end-all be-all. It's a tool, right? So it's something that we can use. And if it works for us in this moment, amazing. I think one thing I do want to caution is not getting caught up in relying on a tool myself. And I know several others in the human design community might get stuck doing that. We might have this tendency to rely and depend on something for the answers, for telling us how we should live our lives, when the truth is, it's really just there to give us information and help us use our own discernment and go through life with that as a resource, but not necessarily our Bible. So human design is a unique energy system that helps us make decisions. It helps us understand how we operate and interact with the world, and it helps us understand our relationships. So it's a very comprehensive tool that I love. I first heard about it about 6 years ago, and ever since then, it's been something I really value, something that has really helped me understand myself, understand my limitations, and really move forward with more ease in my life. So today, I want to talk about how human design has become my compass, how it has become a consistent tool that I go back to when I'm feeling burned out, when I'm feeling exhausted, when I'm feeling bitter and resentful and questioning, like, why isn't this working for me? There are 4 energy types in the human design system. So 4 archetypes. Okay. So 1 is the generator. 1 is the manifester. 1 is the projector. And the last is the reflector. Now, there is a subcategory of the generator, which is called the manifesting generator. So it also has elements of the generator as their main mechanics. And then second sub mechanics, I guess you could say, of a manifester. So I learned that I'm a projector. And when I learned I'm a projector, I also learned how to use my energy. I also learned how my energy works. And for me, it is not meant to, I'm not meant here to really hustle. I'm not really here to put myself out there and make things happen. I'm not here to work and grind and do multiple things at once. I'm actually here to guide. I'm here to oversee. I'm here to share wisdom and give advice. So it's a very different experience than kind of what the traditional business standard says and like traditional business advice. And most of the world lives by this, I'll use the term hustle culture, but really putting yourself out there and making things happen. That's what we're told to do. That's what we're taught to do, to be productive and do all of the things in order to be successful. But as somebody who has, as a projector, no energy centers, I burn out. That's just not how my body's meant to be. And early on in my self-healing journey, when I had hit rock bottom, when I was burnt out, when I was not sleeping, I struggled with insomnia. I lost my period for several years. I was under eating, over exercising. I was really in this fight or flight mode for a very long time. And I was in that mode because I was putting myself under a lot of pressure, under a lot of stress to hustle, to be productive, to be perfect, to meet all of these expectations from society, and that I was ignoring what my body really needed. When I learned that I was a projector and I learned that my energy works differently, I started to slow down. I started to have a lot of compassion for myself. I started being much more realistic with my to-do list and listening deeper to the voice inside my head that was telling me I should do more. I wasn't good enough if I didn't do this, that no one would listen to me. I needed to speak up. I needed to be loud. I needed to insert myself in order to be recognized. And all of those little voices are actually represented in my chart as my vulnerabilities. And so when I started diving deeper into human design, I was able to recognize when I was operating out of those narratives, when I was starting to feel insecure and fear that I wasn't doing things right, that I wasn't going to be good enough. So human design was that tool that pointed it out to me where I could really work on myself, where I could set boundaries, where I could communicate and advocate for my energy. And then also, like I said, it gave me a lot of compassion. It gave me so much validation when I was able to recognize, like, oh, nothing is actually wrong with me. That's just not correct for me. This lifestyle, the mentality, my mindset, my philosophy, my environment, like they just weren't aligned. And it took several years on my healing journey, but more specifically, it took some time understanding my human design that made it very clear that I needed to make some changes because what I was doing was burning me out and putting me into a state of dysregulation, which I'm not even going to go into all of those health effects and relationship complications that it creates. So, what I wanted to share today was just an invitation for you to explore your human design, an invitation for you to lean into your natural energy, your natural tendency, and then to be honest with yourself, to give yourself that compassion. What is it that you need? Who's here to support you on that journey? And what can you let go of? So with that, I will leave it open for you to explore your own mindset, lifestyle, habits, tools. And of course, the invitation is here for you to reach out and work with me. If you are feeling you need to go deeper, you need some support on this, you can find ways to work with me in the show notes below. And with that, thank you for listening, and I will see you next time online.